So we've had the last week of Parliament for 2024. It was quite a busy week for me. There are a number of important issues I raised on the floor of the House, including a further imposition on Northern Ireland of wretched protocol provisions whereby consumers are going to be hit by EU diktat, which is causing many GB suppliers to cease trading with Northern Ireland because, particularly online, it is now so burdensome and so costly. So they're simply cutting Northern Ireland out, further diminishing our position in the UK internal market and forcing realignment, as is the intent of the protocol, on an all-Ireland basis. So I spoke very strongly about that, as you'd expect. I also raised the buyout of Royal Mail to insist that the new owners should respect the universal coverage requirement of Royal Mail, which is very important, of course, for rural parts of a constituency like Northampton, where it's vital that my rural constituents do not see the service diminished any further. So that was an important issue for me. I also took great exception to the government's denial of compensation to the WASPy women. The WASPy women are women born in the 1950s who saw their pension age unilaterally increased without adequate notice so as they could make arrangements which would be necessary. The Public Service Ombudsman found maladministration by the government in all of that, and yet this week the government decided to be judge in its own cause and to refuse the recommendation of the Ombudsman to pay compensation to those women. So that was caused quite a stir, and one in which I was happy to join to put pressure on the government to do the right thing by the WASPy women. And then I spoke at some length on the government's proposals to increase national insurance, both increase it to 15% for employers and reduce the threshold by which you pay it down to £5,000, meaning that many small businesses employ 6, 7, 8, 10 people who are stretching to keep all of their employees are now going to have an added burden, which could amount to something like £2,500 a year extra costs for every employee. And many businesses won't be able to cope with that. And yet the government is imposing this punitive tax. And it's a tax on jobs. It's an employment tax. And it's something which is wholly wrong. And therefore I was glad to both speak and to vote against that. Now we come to the Christmas break, and I want to wish all my constituents in Northampton, indeed all the people of Northern Ireland, a happy and joyous Christmas. Remembering, of course, that for all it is not a joyous time of the year. Many who've lost loved ones will find the pain very poignant and hard at this time, and so we think of them. But as we gather with our families, let's also remember the real reason for the season, God coming down in flesh to dwell amongst us, and let us enjoy the festivities in that spirit. And so I wish you all a happy and enjoyable Christmas break, and look forward to returning in the new year to carry on the battle on behalf of those who sent me here. Thank you.